Wrong button. Hello, everybody. It is December 30th, 2000. Oh, Dane's here. December 30th, 2020. This is the season finale. It's been a week of season finales.
Mm-hmm. We're rocking holiday shows shoot.
Season finale of Wednesday Night Groove.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm just doing a lazy share right now.
A lazy share, is that like you have not straight hair and you...
No, lazy share is when I just share it public. I don't like add more stuff to it. That's what I call it. Call it the lazy share.
I thought we were just gonna do a version of "I Got You, Babe."
That's very lazy. I guess you probably wouldn't put any what's it called? Any melody to it. You would just sing it monotone.
I got you, babe. And you wouldn't even do the da-das, da-das, da-das. It'd just be just straight. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the original better.
All right, and I'm doing a serious share to my personal...
Micro too low. I think that I need to... Hold on.
I don't know, because they've got the
Check
automatic
1,
settings.
1, 2.
Automatically
hey.
Adjust the volume.
Check hey 1, 2.
I think you're good.
You just...
I was trying the automatic one.
Well, yeah, but you did it on my microphone.
Yeah.
Hello? Check
There you go. There you go. Sounds good.
You said that before, but my mic was too low.
Gemma. Just trying to give people what they want.
Gemma, am I still micro too low?
I think it's better now. I think it's better now. I don't want to give the people sound check and technical issues at the beginning of this.
Well,
so
there was. That's what we're trying to fix.
It was good. It was good.
How's
your day been? How's your second
Fantastic.
last day of 2020 been?
It's good. Definitely looking forward to things being definitely different in 2021. That would be awesome.
That would be.
How was
awesome.
Your day? What were you up to?
Day was good. Running around. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's something planned here for New Year's Day.
Okay, exciting.
So there's a couple things that need to be picked up today. It's funny with not to say it's funny because it sucks for a lot of things, but it's funny with like people saying Toronto's in lockdown because you could have fooled me. Still a big old lineup outside of Walmart, outside LCBO, outside of Metro. There's still just people out doing stuff. So
seriously, because around here it is ghost town. Like everything except for, I drove past the LCBO was just in full swing. Walmart was in full swing, but everything else, like the roads even, are just desolate.
Yeah, it was super busy out. We just had to make a quick trip across town, but it's just like I just keep an eye on stuff because I remember when things started to slow down back in March, April, it was gradual and then it was like lineups to try to do anything. So that was kind of a thing.
What's the toilet paper situation looking like for you guys right now?
We're good.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't mean at your personal household. Like
as far as stores and stuff, we haven't seen any issues with that the last couple times we've been out. Because I was the one that had my hand up. It was just like a month, like especially going into December, I'm like, they're gonna lock down at the end of probably Christmas, if not before. So it's like just get everything that we need, get it now, and then we'll kind of go from there. So that we're not spending the last week of December trying to make sense of stuff, especially if there's like huge spikes and stuff going into early January. So,
yeah, no, that's definitely true. I don't think we ever got on the stock up on toilet paper thing.
If you're good, you're good. But if you're not good,
well,
it was bad.
No, and I'm not saying I want to be not good. I'm just saying that I never saw really an issue for that until I started seeing it like not on the shelves.
Yeah.
But no, there was only a couple times that I saw that recently, and then now everything seems to be back to normal. My turn. That is definitely The men's, no. I don't discern or what would the right word be, Mike?
I'm not sure. Discriminate?
Discriminate, yes. That's the D word I was looking for. I won't discriminate on sunglasses. If they look like they're my kind of shades, they're my kind of shades. I'll take an old lady's sunglasses.
I would say if you are fashion forward, there's probably a pretty disappointing selection of men's sunglasses.
There really is, honestly. If yeah.
Because for me,
fair.
At this point, there's aviators, and then there's Ray-Ban Wayfarers.
I still love the aviators. I don't look good in the Wayfarers.
Interesting. I've never seen you in the Wayfarers, so.
I've put them on like once or twice, and I took them off before anyone could see it happen.
When I wasn't looking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was kind of like the same. It was the same thing as the first, time in 10 years that I put on men's pants. I was like, no.
This feels weird.
This feels strange. There's like actually, never mind. But yeah, no.
Some quick comment shoutouts. See, Gemma's here. I already mentioned Gemma. Kelly's here. Beth's here. My turn's here. My turn.
Yay.
I think looking back on 2020 highlights, my turn showing up on YouTube because I was the first one that was like might be like a YouTube troll because I've had some serious YouTube trolls on my gaming stuff. And like they come in waves, and I've got to like block and ban them because I'm like, I don't want this on the stream because it's pretty bad sometimes to do. But my turn's been pretty funny. So
I would agree. Definitely one of my highlights.
Deep bag of zingers for the comments. So
yes,
Johnny Oak's here.
Hey, Johnny Oak, what's happening?
Margaret's here. Tracy's here. What's going?
So. Does anyone, like Mike, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
We're going straight to resolutions. I was going to start with plans.
I don't know.
I said New Year's best in 2020 New Year's Eve plans.
A resolution is kind of like a plan. Or New Year's plans like going and doing something. There's nothing to go and do.
If we want to start with resolutions, as far as personally, I've gone way off the deep end with like junk food and snacks and comfort food, not just during the holiday season, but throughout most of this year. And I think we talked about it before, just like my usual exercise regimen is severely disrupted, not having hockey and not having like, I usually be playing a lot more drums, but it's like the thing too with bands, it's like the better things are going, the less you're on your instrument, because there's just so much stuff to do, and especially with the way things are this year, like with Tens Machine, like we decided to double down on live streaming and like work on building that up. And one of the things we talked about was like going into next year, being able to maintain this and be able to tweak this and improve this and keep working on that. And then when we get live shows back and get touring back, where we can still maintain some of these things that we're doing. And it's like, I've spent more time in front of the computer this year than when I was like, working on several records a year and like just nonstop, not say 16 hours a day, but just like nonstop working on records all the time. It's like I've spent so much time in front of the computer this year working on other stuff, working on video stuff, web stuff, promotion stuff, and spreadsheets. We were joking about spreadsheets on Monday. And it's just like part of my New Year's resolution is to block out a little bit more time to not be on the computer. Not that I feel like I'm wasting too much time, but it's just like cut down at least a few hours a day and just try to get back into doing some non-computery stuff again. Because like, not to be long-winded, but again, like with hockey and with drums, it's like I'm not sitting in front of a computer when I'm on the ice. I'm not that type of player. I need that kind of real-time stat. So like my New Year's resolution, to just get this cheat year out of my system as far as health and diet goes, and just get a little bit more routine time away from the computer next year.
Yeah,
that's my biggest
one.
Fair
enough.
And
that's that's a good one.
And yourself?
Andrea's here, yeah. Kelly's here. Mine is. Oh, this is a longer one. I didn't see it.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you read.
All right.
You
So I just
read
gotta
better than
move.
I do.
Kelly's saying mine is to not say no as much. Example, someone asking me to go skiing because I've never been skiing, and I say no because I don't know how, and I don't want to embarrass myself in front of someone I don't know that well. I would say something like that. Everyone, like, there's always someone else starting something today. And that's something I would say too with people on YouTube, or just like you think everyone's doing something else and like you need to catch up and stuff. There's always someone starting to the same day that you are, and there's always someone starting the day after you started. And I think if you're the right people with anything, they're not going to let you feel like you're embarrassing yourself, because they're going to encourage you. So
Yeah. No, that's a really good one. Not say no as much.
So I would say yes more. Sorry, the phrasing of the first sentence was throwing me.
I love that movie, Yes Man. The Jim Carrey.
Can you just not say no?
Yeah, he makes a decision to I don't think it's even for any amount of time. It's just indefinite. He's not allowed to say no. And so he just says yes to everything. It's really good.
Did that come out?
Recommend it.
Did that come out before or after Liar Liar?
No, it was after.
Okay, because it's like, is that like Liar Liar Part 2? It's like, I can't lie. It's like, I can't say no.
I can't lie. Now
it's
I
like, I can't
say no.
The third one, I
next
can't
one is
stop
gonna be-
smiling.
That would be a good progression, actually.
Yeah, the fourth one, I can't sit down. The fifth one, I can't stop waving hello. But they think I'm saying goodbye.
We were talking about Air Bud before. This is like an Air Bud type series that we're drumming up here.
It totally could be a thing.
Yeah.
Netflix should contact us.
And we should do it definitely in animation.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. By the time it all gets aired, Zac Efron's gonna be way too old to do the little boy part. Mm-hmm.
Last thing I would say with Kelly's New Year's resolution, it's like, life is short. Like, things can go sideways real quick. So if you want to do something or try something and you're not hurting anybody and you're not ruining your life, like, you might as well take a swing at it. Because you could argue with skiing, like, yeah, you can wreck your knee or, land on your head, but just like, there's bunny hills. Like, there's small hills to start on and just kind of get a feel for it. And I know some people too with snowboarding, like, they never really got onto bigger hills. They were having fun just riding down the hill for years. Like the small.
I loved snowboarding, but I'm terrible at it. I'm so, like, how I have not broken bones yet, I have no clue.
You just gotta go limp.
I still love to do it. My biggest thing was I would always get like maybe 10 feet from the jump, and I'd get all excited, and so I would start my whatever trick I was trying to do. I don't think I ever landed one of them, but whatever trick I was trying to do, I would start it way too early because I was so excited, and in which case I would end up just tumbling, like butt over tea kettle, just right off the jump. But yeah.
So you're a snowboarder.
Yeah, I can't. Skiing doesn't equate with me. It turns into me just ripping my pants.
It's funny because like people who started skiing that try snowboarding, it like doesn't make sense. But people who learn snowboarding and try to go skiing, it like there's things that just don't. Like it's like one or the other sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Ties in. Brendan is on his way. But this ties in. I think Brendan's a skier. I think
I did remember that, actually.
So maybe future video concept.
That would be hilarious. Him trying to snowboard and me trying to ski. I still think he'd be better at snowboarding than I would at skiing.
I was going to say maybe we could have a ski and snowboard gang rivalry on the hill.
Like West Side Story.
They're trying to sabotage each other. Because like there's a lot you could do, like getting like a mannequin and like throwing it off a jump with snowboard on. Be funny.
You're a jet all the way.
Could be a thing. I haven't gone snowboarding in years.
No, I haven't either. I broke mine. I don't know how, but somehow.
So you did have a set of skis.
No, snowboard.
Well, you said you broke it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two
wow,
pieces.
look
Yeah.
at you. Where are you? You should have a snare drum and a cymbal beside you, just so you can just like out of nowhere. But 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 no, unfortunately, I didn't break it in that cool of a faction. It was just like a weird tear that went up the side of the board.
It's not good. I'm tearing it up.
I like that board too. I was the same way with snowboards that I was with skateboards. It's like it could have been the crappiest skateboard ever, but if it had a cool picture on the bottom, I was like, yeah, I'll rock this.
Good.
Yeah.
I think I stopped snowboarding a lot when we had a ski and snowboard club in high school. Mm-hmm. And then once a week we'd drive out to, I think it was to Bethany, to go skiing and snowboarding there. And I think the club started with like 20 students. And every week, more and more people got hurt. So by the end of it, I think there was like 5 or 6 of us left. And the teacher was just like, I don't know if we're going to do this again, because like the worst one of the skiers like went off they had one of the kind of quarter pipe wall things, and he kind of like went off that and like into the woods. It was one of those ones where you're just like, don't move him unless we know we can move him. But he like wrecked his leg and wrecked his knee. And that was kind of the beginning of it. But there was lots of fractured wrists and like ankle issues. Like there was lots of injuries, like injuries, not just like I'm cold injuries.
That's actually kind of a funny point to bring up. Not to completely derail us, but like the things that you used to be able to do in school, and not, it wasn't like against the rules. It was like that was part of like a fully sanctioned school event.
That was the trip, yeah.
We had once a year. We did, and I think they just called it the Winter Olympics. I'm pretty sure they did. And it was basically like, did you guys have play day when you were in
public school?
Yeah,
in public school we had that.
Yeah, so we had play day right near the end of the school year, and right near Christmas we would have the Winter Olympics. And I think maybe they just called it Snow Day. I don't know. I can't remember. But it was hilarious because they would set up like it was like play day. There was all these different events and stuff like that. But my favorite part of it was the fact that if you were bad and you misbehaved, they would threaten to send you to Siberia.
Wow.
And the best part is that Siberia, they'd send you to a portable on the other side of the playground that they just kept the door open so it was cold. Like
that sucks. I was thinking maybe they'd have like a bus or something with like to Siberia poster on it.
Oh man, that would have been awesome. And then they just drop you at home, but they call your parents and make them get off of work to come and meet you at home. So like you get full Siberian punishment. Oh man, I can't even imagine if my dad had have gotten called off of work to come because I was getting dropped off in Siberia, and he had to go all the way to Siberia just to like.
I would be wondering like who's got the budget to send these kids to Siberia, and like what was their plan to get them home?
I'm sidetracked by the music.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like church prayer music.
Well, it's fitting for the story.
Well, yeah, it's definitely
shipped off to Siberia. I'm never gonna see him again. If only they did better at Playday.
But yeah, no, and I don't say that as in like my dad would have come home and like beat me with a stick or anything. Like I probably wouldn't have gotten to play video games for a week or something. But but you raised an eyebrow. Did you think you were?
No,
like,
the joke I was gonna make was not appropriate. So let's leave it. Even the badumts, they wouldn't even have done it. They would have just left it. It would have gone to
The
crickets.
dunce cap?
They would have left. It would have gone to crickets on my joke. It wouldn't have landed.
Oh, okay. I see. I
Yeah.
see. Well, either way, that was my yeah. I don't know how we got on that topic.
We're talking about skiing, snowboarding, and snowboard trips and things that like we got to do in school.
And that was definitely like I think that's how I got onto it. There was so many kids got hurt during these things. Because the other thing that there was it was like a like King of the Castle type thing. And essentially all we were doing was throwing the littler kids off of the top of the castle so that we could stand up there longer. And it's like, okay, so I get sent to Siberia for, saying crap, but I get to throw the little kid off the top of the ice sculpture, so and everything's fine.
I do think back to that. Like when the school I went to, we had the public school. We had 2 yards. We had a big kids and a little kids yard. Little kids yard was kindergarten grade 3, and the big kids yard was 4 to 8. My kindergarten class, we were vicious. We would fight with each other, and then we would fight with the grade 3s, and because it was like we were like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like we were indestructible. Like it didn't matter. Like we just fought everybody. And eventually, like with a group of us, the principal's like, I'm sending you guys to the big kids yard, because then there was no one there to fight when we were in like grade 1.
That was you guys had like the same thing as when they think that a kid at 17 needs to be tried as an adult, and they just
that's pretty much what it was. Because when we went there. And if we acted up at all, it's just, and I think back to it, I'm just like, wow, like those teachers let us fight all the time. But it wasn't like we weren't angry.
With a lot of it too.
We were just fighting. And again, you'd play soccer and it was like super rough. And you're like, why is baseball so rough? It's like we're standing away from each other.
But it was the mentality at that time. I remember the stupidest fight that I ever got into was because I used to go home for lunch. And so when I went home for lunch, my mom and my dad had gotten like ice cream and cookies the night before or something. And so there was still ice cream and cookies. And so instead of making lunch, of course, I made myself an ice cream and cookie sandwich. And it was so good that I made myself a second one to bring back to school.
That's lunch.
Yeah. And so I was riding my bike. And so I didn't eat it, obviously, on the way. So as I'm walking up to my group of friends, and I don't even think I can justify this by saying I was that young, but it's still public school, so like K to 8, I was somewhere in there. And I walk up to my friends, and one of my friends like slapped my arm or something, and my ice cream sandwich cookie went flying. And I swear, like I unleashed just a hail of right and lefts.
You lost it?
I fed it to him, and I felt so vindicated and justified in my doing that I don't think I ever apologized.
Probably understandable. Someone lost their ice cream
And to be
sandwich.
honest, at this particular moment, I can't remember exactly which friend of mine it was. It was either Kristen.
Probably not friends anymore. Can't forgive people.
No, we definitely are. It was either Kristen or it was Ben. So, dudes, whichever one of you it was, if you're watching this.
You were such fury and rage, you don't even remember the face.
No.
I remember no details.
I remember the intention, and I remember my reaction, and that's about it.
Just justice had to be served.
It really did. It felt like a severe verdict at that point.
Yeah, to rewind it, it's like, back in my day, we went on ski and snowboard trips once a week. Kids these days are like, we can't go to school. The kids these days are like, learning is sort of optional. Maybe get good at video games. Can't play video games their whole life.
My turn. If you only
Forward 30 years.
If you only understood the extent and glory of my mom's closet, there's no way that any kid would make fun of me wearing my mom's sweaters.
You're referring to my turns?
Or sorry, yes, my turn. What did I say?
No, I just
Did I
context.
say my mom?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no, just context for people. That's
Yeah.
my turn was talking about. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, because I keep forgetting that like the YouTube comments don't show up on the
yeah.
Facebook thing.
I want to point this
Well,
Kim.
bibbidi bobbidi boo.
They changed the graphic, the animation on popping up the comments.
Oh, they
Kim
do.
Kim saying burger rage is ice cream rage all grown up. It really is.
Wow, it's really true.
It really is.
It's weird that like those are the rage instances in my life.
What if you had
Ice
a
cream
burger
and
shop called Burger Rage and just like whatever you order, you don't get that on your burger? So you are somewhat raged because you never really got what you ordered. Be like Harvey's, like your way. It's like not.
They do have. There's restaurants where like you don't pick what you eat. You just
Go in and eat.
You just go in and get what they give you.
You could have a restaurant called You're Eating. And you just go in and you just start eating.
I really want to try one of the ones where the lights are all off and you have to.
We
you have
talked
to eat,
about
like,
that.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that would be like both terrifying for me and awesome because, yeah, I can't just eat what I'm given.
I always thought it'd be fun to do like a playthrough, like for a band to do a playthrough in the dark. So they can't see their pedals, like they can't see their instrument, like they're on their instrument or they're holding their instrument, but they can't actually see their fretboard or anything.
I feel like that would be a lot easier for some than others.
Definitely, but I just thought it'd be funny to hear it because there'd be some stuff that'd be like really in the weeds.
Would they be allowed to see like the screens of their pedal boards, or do
Nope.
they have to be blindfolded?
They're basically blindfolded. So it's in the dark. I was gonna say my buddy Nathan did one where he does playthroughs of records on Twitch, and he did one blindfolded, and it was pretty good. He's pretty sick guitar player, but it's just like it's funny because like when you're not where you think you are, and you start digging into something, and if you're one fret off and you're playing against a record, it can sound pretty awesome because it's the perfect wrong one fret.
That would be kind of cool.
Maybe do that next year.
I think back. If pedals weren't actually, that's not sorry. If pedals and tuning weren't a thing, then that wouldn't be a big deal for me. I don't think. Like it for me, the harder part, and I think for a lot of musicians, the scarier part would be if you can't hear yourself.
I would agree with that too.
Because like
there's a lot of trust.
There's a lot of musicians that I know though where like I actually, you know what? I feel like B could do it both ways because B can read and play really quickly. So I bet you that he could trust his reading and where he is enough to know that he's playing the right thing. But for me, it's not even like the second that I can't hear my guitar, I don't trust what I'm playing. Because I don't play by sight. I can't read music. So like when I can't hear my guitar, I'm just like, okay, I'll just stop playing.
Oh, it's second guessing. That's the thing. Because even recording, it's just like if I'm not really hearing what I think I'm hearing, then I'll start second guessing it and I'll solo it after. I'm like, no, it's right. But it just was sitting in there a little too much. So. But I still think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a fun experiment to play through.
I would be down. That would be fun.
These live stream concerts and like, here you go, live stream concert in the dark. We haven't played together in months. We're just gonna give her.
Especially if we're like on stools or something like that. I think that would be my biggest thing.
I would
fall like standing over. I would fall. I'd fall for sure. I fall half the time, like when I'm fully aware and my eyes are open and stuff.
I just had the best / worst idea, and I'm not going to spoil it on here because I've got another idea which branches off of the In the Dark concert. It's just keeping it up here until after. So remind me of it. No, scratch that. I'm going to remind myself of it. I'm going to write it down.
A Post-it note.
So I don't want to forget that. I think it'd be good.
That is definitely a lost art, the Post-it note.
I have tons of notebooks. When I go, someone's gonna find a gold mine. I'm gonna wear let's carry the one.
Make sure you divide by the square root of 4.
And profit. Okay, got it.
Equipment that glows in the dark. That is a thing. Cindy was saying, how about equipment that glows? There is stuff like that.
There's inlays
like
and stuff on guitars.
A lot of guitars do have, like on the top of the neck, they've just got little glow in the dark thingies. And then the other thing is a lot of time, like there's little fret markers that you can feel with your thumb. But I will say, like, if you play a lot, your hand just kind of goes there, like the muscle memory of it. That's why playing a baritone and then switching over to a standard guitar. So for those not guitar savvy, a baritone is basically kind of in between a guitar and a bass, and so it's a lower voicing than a guitar, but you play it like a guitar, like it's got 6 strings and whatnot. But if you go back and forth between that and a standard, they're just far enough apart that you get caught sometimes forgetting what you're playing.
That they do. There's ones that have LEDs in them too. That have the lights in the neck.
Really?
Yeah. There's some that have LEDs.
Seen one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's kind of obsongy as far as like companies that do make them, like kind of boutique-y stuff. But that is a thing too. But I think all that's all cheating.
Well, Andy, there was one fun. He had the LED drum set, and I have to say that was awesome for the fact that like I never lost a pick once playing with him and that glow in the dark LED.
Oh, like the
set.
Vistalite kit that's clear.
Yeah,
like
that
the,
thing was
the
crazy.
lights in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because Cindy mentioned there's been any for drums, and yeah, there's drum kits where they put the LED lights inside them, and then like especially if they're clear, and then you can make them whatever color you want.
Mm-hmm.
But then they definitely sound like Vistalite drums. They
yeah,
sound
there was
like yeah.
There was a big difference between now for what we were doing. It worked, but yeah, it doesn't sound like you're playing a typical drum kit.
They have a tone to them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple records
it's like playing a guitar with an aluminum neck.
It's gonna sound different.
It sounds awesome, but way different.
Like Kevin's like, guitars are boring. Let's talk about drums.
Fair enough, Kevin.
And Jeremy's saying, I won't put LED lights in my acrylic kit. I hear you.
Oh, you've got
I hear you.
Jeremy's got an acrylic kit.
Mm-hmm.
I did not remember that. That sounds. What color is it, Jeremy?
We're gonna be waiting a second
We'll
to get
wait a
that
minute.
response.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll get it in there.
Or we're waiting to bring it back around because you wanted to get in New Year's resolutions. What's yours, Dane? Bring it back 30 minutes.
Yes, 30 minutes ago. I would say playing more guitar. That is one thing that like I've done a lot of writing on guitar, but just messing around, playing with different sounds. That's something that actually not even just this year. In the last couple years, I haven't done a lot of, and I used to do a lot more. Just finding different sound profiles, different ways to play things, and so I've in the last maybe 6 months I've felt definitely like I've just been kind of playing the same thing in different ways. So 2021, I want to expand my guitar horizons a little bit more.
That's a good
Play
one.
a little more, yeah.
No, that's like the. Well, sorry. Just to answer with Jeremy, yours DW clear acrylic.
Okay, all right.
DW smoked acrylic custom snare. DW is some hot drums. And Johnny was asking, where do you record? We record here, and Dane records there, and Brendan records at his place. That's what this year, that's a big part of this year, is like being able to figure out ways where we can be together but not be physically in the same spot. So lots of bands doing that. We were talking about practicing and just knocking down some of the walls and stuff. That's one of the things where a lot of musicians, like, we generally like to just play what we're good at, and we generally don't play what is difficult for us, or like reach over across lines and play their stuff. Because especially with drums, like, there's certain songs where, like, I can't play them very well, but I'll still practice them because it's a challenge. Like, I can always put on, I always put on Super Unknown and just rip through it, and it's awesome. But then there's some other records where I like the drum work that's on there, so I'm kind of breaking it down. And so, like, going outside your comfort zone, like, it's important for musicians. Like,
Yeah, I was just going to agree with you. One of the coolest things that I ever heard a musician say was my buddy Calvin. He said that, like, when musicians play outside of their ability, like just at the edge, that's when exciting things happen. That's when magic happens.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, when you're playing what you know, it's not necessarily going to be bad. It's going to be good. But when you play what you don't know, it could be terrible, but it could also be genius. And so those little moments of breakthrough, like Jimi Hendrix, I feel like that was my favorite part about him, is the fact that he played so on the outside of his ability. Like, he was always going further than he could actually play, and always doing things just that much farther than what he knew sounded good. And so there were things that he played where I'm sitting there like, oh, well then.
Where are you going?
But then, like, there's things that he plays where I'm blown away, and that little one phrase spawns on like a whole sect of musicians and guitar players. So, yeah.
No, that's as far as musicians go, that's a really good, like, it's a good New Year's resolution, but it's a good, like, yearly reminder. It's always kind of, and especially too, because you picked up that Helix this year. It's funny, to sidetrack for a second, because that picture I posted today, I was debating, because I was scrolling through stuff, trying to find stuff for the three of us, and it's like, to rewind too, I'm like, is anyone gonna be like, why aren't you guys wearing masks? I was wondering about that. But then also I was like, that was the beginning of the year as far as I'm concerned for the band, because, like, that was us leaving for tour.
Yeah.
And it's like, you picked up your Helix for that, and we did a lot of talking about how we want to build our rigs and be able to, tour, just needing the van, stuff like that. And I remember when we were talking about the Helix, and we kind of, because I worked with a couple bands that had them, and you were asking me about it. I'm just like, just turn it on, turn the knob to a preset, and get inspired. Because there's just so much stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, and that's, you hit it on the head. That's exactly what it is. And that's why this year, because the amount of times that I've really broken that thing out and plugged it in and sat with it is not as many as it should have been. But that's also why I got, like, the little mini one, so I can sit there in headphones and it fits in a backpack. But yeah, like, just the amount that if you're a guitar player, if you're a bass player, or a drummer, like, throw on some music, throw in something that sounds good, and you'd be surprised at how much you can, like you said, be inspired. To do more and create different sounds.
Well, you had that one live stream earlier in the current times, I guess.
When I was messing around with the Easter.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I thought that was pretty cool, because I was just like, we can do that these days. Why not just throw it on and just kind of riff for a while and
give some tickly ivories.
Yeah, because it's one of the, like, some people have asked, they're like, oh, would you guys live stream, like, a writing session or recording session? And part of me is like, yes and no. You would like I would live stream the filtered part of a recording session because I think a lot of it's pretty boring. It might not be boring to somebody that doesn't know what's going on, but like sometimes the process isn't exciting and sometimes it's kind of gross watching how things actually come to be. And it's like, I'd rather not broadcast that. But I thought like hearing you just playing, because you can just play, like you can throw something on your looper and just kind of noodle around. It's like, no, that's cool because I can't do that. So
that,
not just because of drums, but like on any instrument. So
as long as you're sitting down, I would put you up against me on guitar. The second a strap is involved, then I feel like you wouldn't even, I don't think I'd be better. You'd give up. You'd be like, no, I got to wear a strap.
That'd be your battle. You'd be like, it's like, you have a guitar battle against Mike tomorrow. You're not worried? He's like, no, I've got a plan.
I'll just cut all the legs on the chairs.
Just like, better to start, like, remove all the seating. No, I'll just sit on the ground. No, the floor is lava.
Oh, that's good.
Real talk. I can't, like, I can play bass standing up. I cannot play guitar standing up. My wrist doesn't do the thing. It just doesn't.
It would take you a day.
No,
if you can play bass standing up, you can play guitar.
Okay, sorry. I can play guitar standing up as long as everything's in drop D or drop whatever, and I can just move one finger around. Then I've got it.
You don't want to full on bar chord.
No, like my hand does not. There's like no angle. Like playing bass is different because you're pushing a note down, but like pushing chords down, like my wrist is like, how does anyone do this? This doesn't make any sense at all. This is crazy.
I'm actually starting to cry.
What is in the water where these people come from that can play guitar standing up?
Okay, but at the same time, I feel like guitarists feel the same way about drummers. Because if you're a guitar player, everything that you do with this hand corresponds to this hand.
Yes.
And in time. If you're a drummer, it's like piano players. It's like you guys have different brains because this hand could be doing one thing and this could be doing the other thing. And do you realize how difficult this is for me to do this right now?
I am impressed right now.
This is hard.
Straight up, I'm impressed right now.
I want to... No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do it.
Well, that is a thing with coordination with drum. But then again, with drums, it's like you put a right playing drummer on a left-handed kid. It's like all of a sudden there's a lot of things that need to be rewired quickly to make sense. Or sometimes there's drum beats that just don't make sense. But for me, like with guitar, it's like a physical thing that didn't develop because I played sitting down for, at this point, 20 years. So but again, with bass, it feels different because of how the neck is and everything. And again, you're pushing down notes versus trying to make the chords or I could just have like, I guess I could play like a hardcore band or just a jazz band and have like the guitar really high. So it's like I'm sitting.
Honestly, if you played in half of the bands in Toronto, like house bands, you'd be right.
I'd still have a low strap.
Honestly, my necklaces hang lower than the guitars, and it's not even their fault because I've played in a couple of those bands, and I swear it's not the strap, it's not me doing it. I didn't change my strap, but when I show up to the gig, it's almost like when you put your clothes in the wash and you're gonna take them out and hang dry them, but somebody puts them in the dryer, and you go to like play your guitar, and I'm like,
someone put this in the dryer.
It's like,
in the dryer.
It feels good up here.
It is. It is a thing. It is a thing.
But yeah.
Oh, we're like way deep into this right now. That's the idea of.
I love Kevin Les Clay Mike Fool.
Hey, his Carl Thompson basses are some of the coolest instruments I've ever seen in my life. He has a 4-string bass with whammy bar. Speak of the devil.
Oh, shibby.
Talking bass. Brendan's here.
Are you? I heard was he has a 4-string bass with a whammy bar, and I know you're talking about when I grow up, I want to be a fisherman.
Yep, Donald
Les
Les
Claypool.
Claypool.
Especially that album. That was like when he was pulling that out all the time. The whammy bar on the bass. Gotta love it.
Do you remember what album that's from?
Is it
John the
Fizzle Fry?
Fisherman. John the Fisherman's from Frizzle Fry.
Yeah, it was Fizzle Fry. I thought so. Yeah.
Which do you remember what album that is in the series of albums?
It's super early on. You know what? I saw them once, and it was when they released that Animals Should Not Act Like People, and it was like a 5-song EP, and it was just like a weird thing, and then they played Fizzle Fry in its entirety, which I was like, what is going on?
Okay, yeah, no, I was gonna say Frizzle Fry was their second album, because their first album was called Suck on This, and it was the live album. And then Seeds of Cheese was the third
Fizzle
one.
Fry was like the first like album.
That, yeah, because Suck on That, and again, Suck on This is like it. Where we lost Dane. Sorry, I was checking Wikipedia for a second, because like Suck on This is a live album, but it's like ridiculously tight.
Yeah, it's like
for a
it's
band
like,
playing.
It's like an album, but it's not like a studio album. That's I couldn't
But
remember.
it sounds great because they're great players.
Because I knew there was something with that. If it was like Fizzle Fry was their first, or like first, yeah, it was something
That
like
was their
that.
first studio album, yeah.
I saw the whole thing live, and it was pretty epic.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
I just love that name, Fizzle Fry.
Fizzle Fry.
I just think it's funny we're chatting hard about bass, and then Brendan's like, boom.
The grocery
The ears
stores are
tickled.
no joke right now. Oh yeah, I don't.
No, they are
I don't.
serious.
I don't go in. We just get the pickup, but I just like so you go to your pickup thing and you just like watch chaos.
Yeah.
It's like guys, it's groceries. Like it's gonna be okay, but everyone's like, yeah, it's nuts.
Well, but the thing is, there's like holidays and New Year's Eve tomorrow. Like, there's things I'm just like, you should have planned.
Well, because it's like, there's always like Melissa's cooking food for tomorrow. She's making special food, so she's like, it's always like, oh, you know what? We'll get all these groceries so we don't have to go close to like Christmas or New Year's. And then we get close, and she's like, I need you to go, and I'm like,
but we just talked about.
We just went. We just did this stuff. But well, when I came into the house, she needed a few specific things, particularly these like the President's Choice. They don't have this in the U.S., but they're just like big bars of chocolate. And they have really nice
Oh
dark
my
chocolate.
gosh, yes.
Do you know those? You know what I'm talking about?
Mess
I
around.
like the ones, the almond ones, the almond
Yes.
milk chocolate. Oh my gosh.
It's
so
danger. It's dangerous. But I just she's gonna like melt a whole one of those in like a big bowl. She was getting it ready when I came down. I was like, okay, I gotta. And there was pretzels, those little stick pretzels, right beside it. So I'm gonna steal some. I might lose a finger. I don't know.
You got plans. Sounds like you
Yeah,
got
no.
plans.
There's a giant bowl.
I
of milk.
might
There's
lose
like
a finger.
There is a pot of melted chocolate upstairs. Well, there soon will be.
Have you guys ever had one of the chocolate fountains?
No.
So they have a chocolate fountain at Golden Corral.
Oh
And
yeah,
the first time, I think this is like 10 years ago. We were down there, and I never hardly been to the U.S., but we stopped, and I think it was Chizzy and I, and we saw the Golden Corral, and we're like, we're going. So we went, day off, so we could just like lay in agony afterwards. But I knew they had the chocolate fountain. It was like in the advertisement at the time.
Yeah.
And I asked the man, I was like, the waiter man, I'm like, if I want to dip my steak in chocolate, can I do that?
remember this
Is that
story.
frowned upon? And he said, you can do whatever you want, sir. So
Would
I
you
did.
frown upon happiness.
Yeah. I put
You
steak
can do whatever you want, sir.
in chocolate. I didn't actually dip the steak in the chocolate fountain. Although I've been to Golden Corrals and just seen like kids walk up and just stick their hand into it. So it's probably not the worst thing that's been in there.
That's definitely before times.
That's like one of those memes. If you've used the chocolate fountain at Golden Corral, you don't have
to worry about.
you don't need the vaccine.
Yeah,
you don't need
Yeah.
the vaccine. No, I only ask because I've never gotten to use one of the chocolate fountains. But
Did
I've
we not go to a
always-
Golden Corral? I
We
guess
did.
We
but
went
I
to
do
a
not
Golden
remember
Corral, but I was so
chocolate fountain.
focused. I
Was
was
one of
so
those.
focused on roast beef, prime rib, and ribs. Like I came out of there, and I swear you guys didn't hear it, but I heard it inside my head.
A lot.
Well, I will tell everyone. I'll probably get made fun of this, but I went to Golden Corral as a vegetarian, and it was still good.
It's still good.
Still good.
I have to say, I thought for sure after about 10 minutes in there, you were gonna dive your face into like a bowl of fried chicken or something.
I had fried
But
fish.
no, I didn't
probably-
even know you had that.
It's probably
I
just
thought-
as bad for you.
Well,
It's probably just
either way,
as bad, or
I
if not
remember-
worse.
Might could be worse. Yeah, that's true.
Because I don't know where we
went
were, but
more
I'm pretty sure
hardcore.
wherever
were
we
you
were,
gonna
I'm
say?
pretty sure it was far away from the ocean, so it was heavily
Yes,
salted,
it's very true.
you know.
We went more hardcore on the Ruby Tuesdays salad bar though.
Which was also
Like
good.
I think we acted more like carnivores on that salad bar than we did at Golden Corral, because I don't remember being that hungry at Golden Corral, and we had to play that night, I think.
It just tasted
no,
good,
it was
though,
a
and you're
day
like
off.
vegetables. All you can eat.
Yeah.
You have to. I wonder if you can walk into Golden Corral and be like, is there like like a veggie person option? So I could go in and like, I'm not gonna eat the meat. I swear I'm not gonna touch it. I know that's expensive, so just knock a little off the price.
Well,
Just
yeah,
let me have the
honestly,
veggies.
if all you ate was broccoli and gravy, honestly, like I'd do that. I would definitely do that.
I wonder if you could successfully make a poutine in Golden Corral.
Just rig some together.
Just rig it together. Just get some. I mean, obviously,
I'm
They have to have
curious.
fries.
You wouldn't get cheese curds, so you have to improvise. Maybe get a cheese slice or some
If you
shredded
go with-
cheese
if
from
you
the
go
salad
with-
bar.
If you go with mozzarella cheese, you're good.
Yeah, that's true.
I was googling if
I
there's
made the
Ruby
mistake
Tuesday
of using
hacks.
cheddar cheese. Cheddar cheers.
Cheddar.
Ruby Tuesday hacks is the bacon though. Like
That is
that
a
is
hack.
where that is
And the
where-
eggs.
Yes,
The
that's
eggs.
true. Like there's so much protein in a Ruby Tuesdays salad buffet.
You can find
I don't know why anyone in those regions eats anything else.
And they see me walking up, and they're like, "Look at this guy.
it. This guy's gonna rip this place apart.
He's gonna eat all the carrots."
I remember one time we were going, but it was like torrential downpour. And do you remember that? Because like we had issues where like water was like getting into the front of the van as far as it was shorting some of the electrical out.
Oh,
and
I
it
do
was like
remember that,
torrential
yeah.
downpour, and we're like, we really want to go to Ruby Tuesday, but it's like the getting from the van to the door is an issue right now.
The great electrical problems of 2017. So I think there's like a whole era of that in my mind.
Didn't that there? It wasn't just electrical. There was other issues that rain caused, wasn't there?
Many issues. There's many
I
issues.
think the main root of it was electricity plus dousing electrical things in water doesn't work so well, and then add in massive amounts of rust and corrosion at every single point.
Plus
That was when our-
driving
But wasn't that
the
when our
bejesus out
trailer?
of it.
That was when
Yeah.
our trailer lights and stuff stopped working too.
There's some
Yeah.
issues there. Yeah, there's some things.
Yeah.
You know, the trailer's still good. I just went out and tested it not too long ago, and the lights, I hooked the new van up to it, and the lights all worked. I was like,
There you go.
yeah,
Heavens to
There
Betsy.
you go.
yeah.
Don't need to
good.
use
That
the
means-
custom lights on there anymore.
They're still
I was
on
gonna
there.
say I have
No,
I
the-
have rollerblades and I could just have a flashlight. I could trail behind with rollerblades and a flashlight.
I went out the other
Probably.
day, and every once in a while, one of those those rubber bicycle lights, they start flashing just randomly.
Yeah, full
just out
disclosure,
It's just outgoing.
our trailer had Walmart bicycle lights on it.
That was a
for a-
They
good
weren't
solution.
Walmart, they were
It
dollar
worked.
store.
It worked.
Those were dollar store lights. I don't think we even got them. Or no.
I
we
know it
probably
was
did get
Walmart
them.
because they were bike lights. Yeah, because we went in and we like bought them out.
Now, probably if we had got pulled over, I don't think, like, if we had been like, oh, we're just going to go and get this fixed right now, officer, he'd be like, okay. But if you're like, we just drove 30,000 kilometers with these bike lights on, he'd be like, okay. No.
But I thought the brake lights worked, but like the running lights.
it was
weren't
just
working.
the running lights. Yeah. it
So
was
we
like
were
the-
just putting that on. and
the
we just
brakes and
taped it
signals
on.
didn't work, and there's like the light over the license plate. That's the only.
Yeah. No, but that's the things you do, because we were in that parking lot for a while trying to make that trailer work, and then it got to the point where it's like, let's just tape some bike lights on it and
Yeah, that
just
was-
get her going.
Yeah, that was literally the.
I have to say, it reminded me of Breaking Bad because of the fact that, like, Breaking Bad, they had that I'm not going to give any spoilers for anybody that hasn't watched it, but they, from all the commercials, they have like a Winnebago. And as they make money, they still keep using that Winnebago. And at one point, Walt does say, he's like, why didn't we get something better? It's like, well, it worked. Like, we had inertia. And it's true, though. It's like the time it would have taken for us to take an off day and then go and get the trailer lights like actually fixed. But those lights worked.
But the thing is, like, I don't know. Well, Brendan's proven that it wasn't the trailer; it was the van.
It was the van.
And when, if I've
she
seen,
betrayed us.
I've seen in other ones where it's like there's just wires just running along the side of the van to try to get it to the back, so that and it's like hits a point where you just.
My car has a really funny wire running from the front to the back. I have no clue what it's for, and it has a really weird connector for it. So it's like,
just let it be. Just let it be.
Yep.
I'm kind of hoping that it's like a Bond thing, and at some point, like someone's chasing me with,
it's like a rocket launcher or something. Machine
yeah,
guns?
it's like someone's chasing me with machine
oil
guns,
slick?
and I press it, and it's the oil slick comes out the back.
Spy Hunter styles.
It's what it probably actually is, and what happened to me recently. It's probably your e-brake cord, and then you pull it, and then if you don't use it very much, the e-brake just locks on.
Huh.
So then you've got to move your car, and then you can't. So it's kind of like the oil slick, but to yourself.
The good thing is that having a stick, I had to know if the e-brake was gonna work right off the bat, or I'd be kind of skating, just be skating everywhere. Oh, there goes Dane. Oh, no, he's not in the car. It's just his car. It's just chilling.
Sliding.
So, to bring it back around, we were originally going to talk about your plans for New Year's Eve 2020.
Yes.
Dane pulled it right into New Year's resolutions. Brendan, you're last to go.
New Year's resolutions. I don't know. Maybe I'll swear less. Because that's one that, like, whatever. I don't know.
I don't think you swear a crazy kind of amount.
Oh, I know. It's not like angry. Like it's like just casual conversation. And sometimes, especially if I just like, it's like, especially around Melissa, and she hates it. She hates it so much, and I'll just start swearing like a sailor.
Just enhancing sentences.
Well. Yeah, I would say it enhances them. And then I'd send her an article where it's like, people that swear a lot are smart. And she's like, yeah, this is BS. You just swear because you don't care. You're not being careful. You just say a bunch of curse words. And I'm like, true. It's probably not that I'm more intelligent. It's probably just I have a bad vocabulary, and it's just swearing.
Not to generalize, but if that's the case, where really highly intelligent people swear all the time, I would love to be a fly on the wall at like NASA or something like that.
And hear the strings that they have.
It's like, whoa! I got the vocabulary.
They've got.
Well, and they probably swear like really well. Like they probably just do it really good, where there's no swearing for like years, and then when there is, you hear it and you're like, wow, that's like new. Like they'll be using F-bombs like you didn't think they could ever be used before. Whereas the type of swearing that I'm swearing is just kind of like crass. Where I'm just like, oh yeah, F and this and F and that, and oh here, yeah, and it's just like unnecessary, and I think it's funny, but no one else does. That's kind of the problem.
It's definitely funny in its moments.
I think that everybody's got that little bit, but like Jen got me onto swearing almost like you're swearing like you're a little kid that doesn't know what the swear word is. And so
yeah, it's kind of like
we've been turning our swear words into just like funny words. The bad part about it is that when we say them, Rex has started getting really excited because he thinks that like, because anytime normally you speak in gibberish, he thinks that like he's getting a treat for sure.
Wait a second, he's speaking dog.
It's like, oh, I understand that. Okay, cool. And so Jen will start speaking in silly, funny swear word. And Rex will poke his head up and start going crazy at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Like, no, dum, not you.
That's when keeping it real goes wrong.
You know what? I'm worried about Nala. She's sensitive. She's a little floof. And I'm worried if we swear too much, it's going to affect her. I mean, the dog can't walk on. It can't walk on wet grass. It's not going to do well with a bunch of curse words, and
Can't walk on wet grass. What?
No,
Do you guys have to shovel like a little area for her to go?
No, she's got
outside?
boots. She's got boots
Oh,
and a
okay,
coat.
fair enough.
She's one of those dogs where like
Rex
going
has a
for
coat, but he kicks the boots off. Like he'll just.
We had socks on Stella for like 8 seconds, and it was hilarious. Because
that would be
at the
amazing.
pet store, we saw these little, they were in the discount bin, little tiny socks, and we're like, let's just try to be funny. And we put them on, and she was just sitting there, and she kind of looked at us, and then she took like 3 steps and just like kicked them off.
And just kicked each one off. Yeah.
That's like with a cat though.
Like, okay,
like
we're
good,
done.
Good luck. The dog will at least like you put it on and they just look at you and they're like fine, and you're like yeah this is happening.
Man. My sister, I think my sister spent something like $60 on these like special dog boots a couple years ago.
Dog
and it was
Should have called the band Dog Boots.
It was so awesome. That would be a good band name. But it'd have to be like Dave Matthews Band type stuff.
It's a band called Dog Boots. What do you play? Country.
But I swear, this dog, she put them on and she was so excited for them because the dog needed it because he walks a lot. But anyways, puts them on and did the exact same thing as the cat. It was just like they all go flying and my sister's just sitting there like.
Money spent.
Okay. No, I think she could return them, so that was a good thing. Because I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like those were actually expensive. That's kind of how I felt when I put those D'Addario coated strings on my acoustic
The
not long
elixirs?
ago.
Just
No, elixirs, awesome. Elixirs, amazing. Terrible for artist relations. So if you're trying to. Yeah, I'll work for you guys. I'll work for you guys.
I still love you,
from home.
D'Addario, and your Evans drums.
I love D'Addario. I don't love these coated strings. The ones they had before, they changed. It's like they tried to become new Coke. Like they had Coca-Cola.
They knew Coke Jam.
And it was going well. It was going so well. And even Elixir was probably sitting there like, I wish I tasted like D'Addario. And nope. Then they changed it up and they pooped him.
All right, we're around here. Dane's New Year's resolution is to expand his musical horizons. Brendan's is to cuss less.
Yeah, it's to narrow my vocabulary violations.
To lessen your vocabulary
what's
by
hilarious?
5 to 7
narrow
words.
them down.
I swear, I'm not even joking. Maybe an hour before we got on the live stream, I was sitting talking to Jen about like between the three of us, Brendan is definitely the most well-spoken. And so I'm like,
and
Brendan
somehow the
reads.
worst too. Somehow the worst at the same time.
and you just totally threw my argument in the gutter. And sorry, Mike, what was your New Year's resolution?
I need
B
to
didn't hear
fix
it.
I need to fix my diet and exercise routine because it's just a lot of my go-tos like the hockey and again like drums. I've just spent a lot of time in front of the computer this year and it's like it really kind of it's sunk in the last couple of weeks like how much I've been in front of the computer this year. When it's funny, I left university to not sit in front of a computer all the time.
Yeah, you know what? F this. I'm changing mine to exercise. I'm keeping the swearing.
No,
I'm
you're
exercise
fine,
more.
Brendan. Don't make me
It's
look bad,
funny.
Brendan.
It's so funny as he was saying the exercise. It was the second time I heard it, and I'm like, man, I should have just said exercise too.
Yeah,
then
I
we
know
could have had a
exercise.
band thing that
Well, it's-
2021 we all have to exercise.
I'm gonna F boop and exercise.
You
So
just
I'm
get you
kinda-
a
trying to
get you
bleep
like
myself.
a beat button where you are. That'd be good too. Well, it's just, again,
That'd
it's
be
just
hilarious.
like this year has been about disrupting our norms, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
going into next year because that's the funny thing too. It's like I've seen it pop up on. We're going a bit later today. Zuckerberg's not kicking us off because it's season finale. I've seen a couple of things pop up with people being like thinking that everything's going to go back to normal like January 1st. It's like it took us 8 months, 10 months to get us to where we are right now. So to think for a second that things are gonna like flip around real quick, it's like no, like
No, and we're not going to have vaccines. I mean, I don't know. They're giving them in UK and some in the US, I guess. But like in Canada, we're not going to get them. Like the essential people will get them soon, but like
Yeah.
all of us, we're not getting them till August.
it's gonna
At
be a
least.
minute, but I think things are gonna get better once the weather gets better and people can kind of, no pun intended, they can kind of chill out outside a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to help because they have said that it is helping reduce the spread and stuff like that. But just the idea of just like thinking everything will be magically better, going through January. I hope it'd be awesome, but it's just like this year's been a lot about rethinking priorities or rethinking about what's important and thinking about the long term. Because there's a lot of I'm trying to think of the wording for it. There's been a lot of things where it's just we try to just keep square peg round holing what we think normal is, and it's kind of not really happening. So like me mentally, it's like going into next year, it's like the habits that we're building this year, we're going to carry them into next year, and then when we get certain things back, like keep the positives from this right now, and bring that forward with us as well. And again, like I'm really proud of what we've been able to do with the live stream this year and the schedules and like just maintaining it, because it's like we all talked about it back in March and April, and we're just like, if we can get past May and June, we're probably in good shape, and just keep building on this and stuff. Because I enjoy this quite a bit. I'm sure people that hop in the comments and stuff too, it's been fun. So,
well, and it's funny because I feel like, I don't know, as a procrastinator by trade, I feel like the universe is just procrastinating with us a little bit. Like it's almost, that's what I feel like every time I think, okay, yeah, by May, by June, by August, by September, by October, definitely by December, by January. It's
but
like,
there's that.
I don't know. We're gonna start.
no, I was
doing,
just gonna
we're
say
gonna go out and
it's
start
teaching
doing
us
stuff.
to be.
But we're gonna go out and start doing stuff when we have to, and I'm just gonna be like really tired because I'm used to not leaving the house and doing stuff so much. So
Oh,
you go
that's
out and-
gonna be a thing.
You go out and do things. You'd be like, man, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm not just beside my fridge.
But what Dane was saying though too is just like I can't remember the exact quote, but it's along the lines of like you can build a very strong house during a storm, and it's like I felt bad for bands that were kind of taking off at the end of last year, and then this was supposed to be the year that they could really break out, and they got a heavy touring schedule, and it's just like so much of that crumbled. But it's like if you could get through this year, as a band, or I was considered Tenth Machine as a new band, it's like if you can get through this year and kind of develop a few things and keep moving forward, like that's going to make things a lot stronger going into next year and the year after that. Because like we've seen bands that just have called it this year too. So we were talking about on Monday, it's just like it's hard to see some of these bands pack it up. But
Yeah.
if you're in your mid 30s, early 40s, you're just like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because this is not what a lot of bands signed up for.
No, it's always, it's definitely it's not that difficult of a thing to eat cookies when you're in a cookie factory, but it's a lot harder to eat cookies when there's nothing to make cookies with, and you have to just kind of pretend you're eating cookies when you're eating a giant hand.
On that analogy, you change your
worms.
diet.
Well, and worms are good sustenance too. And now, I love the taste of these worms.
Well, another way to look at it too is like you do as the locals do, and it's like, and I've been telling a lot of bands and artists too, like even before when they're asking about live streaming, it's just like look at what the gaming community's been doing on platforms like Twitch, because it's like they figured it out, YouTubers figured it out. It's just like they've already kind of cracked the code with a lot of that, or even like Instagram, and then Instagram kind of evolved into TikTok as far as like how to reach out on that stuff too, and it's like there's lots of tools there still, but if you're, again, that square peg round hole, if you're still trying to just say, I just want to tour and just play shows, it's like, you might need to sit down and get ready for a dose of reality, because it's going to be rough. Even on Monday, we're talking about it too. It's like once because Nick Bell was on Monday, and like once concerts open back up, if you're like a mid-level band or like a support act, like it's going to be tough because all those venues are going to be eaten up. All those holds that everybody has, you know, and then, like, the big venues aren't going to be available. So like the ones that might be support on like an arena show or like a big, 10,000, 15,000 seater, it's like they're going to get bumped down. And then if you're a big band, like why not just play 2 nights if you can grab them?
Yeah.
Because you're already set up, you know.
Yeah.
For Foo Fighters, grab a 5,000 venue place, put 2,000 people in it, play 2 nights.
Play 2, yeah, exactly.
If Dave's looking, you could just need some support.
Yeah, and just set up a stage at both ends of the arena, and then just halfway through, just like run to the other side and then play over there.
Wasn't like early Warped Tour like that at Skydome and stuff? Where they just had different stages all in the same venue?
I think that's what the Foo Fighters did on one of their tours, right? Where they had a stage like halfway through, they'd go to the other side and play like a bunch of songs on the other side of the arena, and then like in between they had a camera, and it was like Dave Grohl like running with the camera in his face and like going through, and then and Nickelback did that on the tour that we were on. They had, except theirs was like, that was nuts. I couldn't believe they had this little stage that they all got on it, and it lifted up and went, and they dragged it like over top of the crowd, and then it set down on the other side of the arena, and then they played some songs, and then it lifted it back up on chains and took it back over, and it looked like a spaceship. And I was like, I want a spaceship that we play on.
I want
top
a
of.
spaceship.
It was pretty. It was like out there. We showed up.
Yeah,
like I
crazy.
didn't. We were kind of talking about it. And it didn't really sink in until we showed up and they were like practicing it. And I was like, wow.
I wonder if anyone would be mad or frown upon us if we tried to crowdfund money for a spaceship.
For a spaceship, you need 2 of them though, because they have to leapfrog. You can't
2
just have one.
spaceships.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take the first one down and we'll add a new one. So yeah, we actually need 2
Second
spaceships.
one.
Second
I
spaceship.
just feel like me on a spaceship is maybe not the greatest idea, but at the same time, this is what
You know
my
what, I
countdown
think
would be like.
Dane's like, I'm.
I think Chad probably was a little worried about himself on the spaceship too, but he seemed to really enjoy it. Although all the guys in the
That's
band said
too
it was
funny.
super weird to play when you're at the top of the middle of the arena like that. Like Mike, the bass player, said he like pulled his ear out a little bit and was like, oh,
Yeah, it'd be weird. That'd
you're like
feel
at the
strange.
top of the line array. No thanks.
I'd try it. I'd try it.
Nuts.
Only live once.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So Wednesday Night Groove, season finale.
Okay, I seriously have to go check out this chocolate melting experiment. I walked in, there were marshmallows, there was a bowl of Oreos, all just mashed
Oh, it'll be
up.
happening. It'll be happening.
She had a pot and a bowl, and she was going to put some chocolate bars and just melt them into a bowl. And those little stick pretzels.
Well, last stream of 2020. Anything you guys want to end with? Anything else you want to add? Dane's just
Saluting.
everybody that got through this year, and remembering those that
Thank you
didn't.
to everyone that's been with us for sure.
Yeah, thanks for tuning into all the streams.
Yeah, keeping us company while we go crazy in our bungalows.
I think in a positive way, though. I think it's been positive craziness.
Yeah, I
Because negative craziness is really bad. It usually makes the news. But like this has been good. I think people.
no, I have definitely haven't wanted to shoot anybody or anything like that. I've wanted to just hug people.
That's a thing. You know, I didn't come from a very huggy family, but like I definitely missed that this year.
It really
So I got a lot of
definitely
hugs
is
in
a weird-
2017. I wasn't prepared for.
I messed up the one day when because I hadn't seen my sister in a couple weeks, and she was dropping something off at my parents' place, and I gave her a hug. And my mom was like, "Dane," I was like, I don't know."
Yeah, I didn't even go home for Christmas. It was strange. First time.
No,
and-
we didn't either. My mom
Yeah,
dropped us off.
Skyped in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's weird that way too. But again, like it's been really reassuring with the, friends and fans in the comments, and again, Dane, like on behalf of Brian and I, just again, you doing the musical live streams, like playing through stuff, like that's helped a lot of people. Have some shows, some music to look forward to.
I mean, I'll play along with you, but I don't know.
Well, I
good it's-
definitely
Yeah, I
look
still
forward
ride
to
on the ride,
when-
shake on the
I
shaker.
look forward to when we're able to be in the same room, allowed to play again. Oh my gosh, that reminded me of Bring It On.
Remind me of Stranger Things.
I found a good raspberry one. Hold on. See if I can get it.
Gow. That sounded total domination.
Brendan, I gotta go eat chocolate. Also, Brendan, synth.
Yeah, well, this. Excuse me.
Pardon.
Yeah, that's nothing.
So, also to wrap things up here again, just a lot of thank yous, but also there's a couple things we're going to change up with the streaming schedule going into the new year. I think people will dig it, and we got some plans for music. Not to be cliche, plans for music, and I think everybody across the board, fingers crossed, that we can safely get concerts going. I think it's looking like Q3. A lot of people I would consider the smart ones with their cuss words and everything have been all saying that Q3 is looking pretty good to get some sense of normalcy back with concerts. And I think this summer too we'll start getting some concerts back. So, if it was up to me, we'd be going on tour next week. Inside joke. But
Yeah.
it is what it is,
In a
and
couple days.
being safe is the important thing right now. So, I would say be safe on your New Year's Eve plans. I guess we can talk about in the near future what we ended up doing on our New Year's Eve.
I'm gonna go to sleep
Dave.
at 12:05.
This will be the one year that I don't feel ashamed for the fact that I fell asleep before New Year's.
Could be a thing. Just change the clock.
Mhm.
So,
Exactly.
all right, you guys good? Zuckerberg's giving
Love
me
it.
the nudge. All
If I
right,
don't get up there, I'm not gonna get in on this chocolate. So
Gotta get the
I'm
hand.
actually serious. I
gotta get your hand in that chocolate.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg's kicking us off. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. If you're watching on Twitch, remember to follow. And if you're watching on Facebook, just remember to share. We appreciate it so much. All right, that concludes the 2020 season finale of Wednesday Night Groove. We are Tense Machine. Oh, yeah. All right, I think we nailed that. I think we nailed it.
I didn't go all the way.
I think we nailed it. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for taking part.
Bye,
Hanging out in
everyone.
the chat.
See you
Bye,
later,
everybody.
guys.
Man, I think-
Bibbidi boo.
I think we've done like 100 of these now.
And it still doesn't come second nature. You would think it would.
I think it's pretty good nature.
I feel
Okay.
like I can tell how bad I will be at backing up the trailer by how I never know which way to wave.
I
on
seriously
the
have
camera.
to. I seriously have to go get in on this.
Brendan,
All right,
go
boys.
get that chocolate.
All right,
get that
go.
chocolate,
I'm
Brendan.
getting. I'm getting.
Go
Get
do it.
You get it.
Later.